Hello, my name is Anthony Gatto, and one of my top 3 priorities is ensuring all of our students are college and career ready. Currently in our district, you could receive a high school diploma and not qualify to go to college, a UC or CSU, because our requirements don't match up. At some of our high schools, only 30% of our graduates are actually qualified to go to a UC and CSU. How do we expect our students to be ready for the 21st century if they can't even have the option to go to college? So as a board member, I would ensure that we implement policy that makes sure our graduation standards match the UC and CSU requirements. Now, this won't happen overnight. This will be phased in, starting with our current 8th graders so that way they have that heads up. Secondly, I want to ensure that our students are not just college ready, but career ready. We have a few amazing programs in our district where students could learn digital arts, where they could learn mechanics, where they could learn welding now at Kennedy High School. And I want to expand these programs so that our students have a full sense of all of their opportunities. I want to have more career fairs, more college fairs. Going back to college, I've talked to a few college counselors who are asking, what is your biggest need? And right now, it's capacity. When you have one college counselor for 400 students, it's very hard for that counselor to reach every single student and check in with them. By implementing a peer mentorship program, we could take the top performing high school students and ensure that they help the college counselors by making sure all the other students are on track by checking in with them, going over the SAT deadlines, going over college application deadlines. I've seen these programs work in other districts, and I think we need them here. I like the incumbents. A lot of them are my friends, so I hope they forgive me for saying this, but I don't trust any of them right now. On everything that they just said, they had 4 years to implement that, and if you look at the SBAC scores, test scores have actually gone down while they were on the board. Now, I'm not an expert, but I study experts. And there are 3 things that we need to do in this district. The first thing is implement universal preschools, because it's a shame when our students are falling behind at 5 years old because they didn't have that early childhood education. The second thing that we need to do is, starting in kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade, we need to make sure that we pull the students out that are falling behind and give them the intervention that they need. You heard the statistic. Roughly 30% of our 3rd graders aren't reading at grade level. That doesn't mean we should jump in at 3rd grade. That means we need to jump in at kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. What's going wrong there? The third thing that we need to do is provide tutoring after school for our middle school and our high school students, so as soon as they start falling behind, we have somebody there to work with them. Now, if somebody asks, well, where's the money going to come from? We have so many people in our district, parents, grandparents, that would love to volunteer, but guess what? In the district office, if you call right now and you say, hey, I want to volunteer, they just give you a badge, that's it. They don't tell you, hey, this teacher needs you over here, math class, 3 p.m., can you be there? They don't tell you, hey, they're working on a science project over here at noon, can you be there at this school? We need to ensure that we have a place for our volunteers to come and support our students. These are the 3 things that I'm proposing we do, and I've been pushing for these things even before running this campaign, and I'm going to continue pushing these things afterwards. If you ever look at my handout, I don't have any tonight. If you look at my handout, the second bullet point is improving community engagement and outreach. And this is a huge issue. For those that aren't aware, I run a nonprofit organization in the district called Citizens Power Network, where we teach high school students the importance of civic engagement and voting. This is a real example. Last year we were having a fundraiser, and I went to different school sites asking if they could put our flyer on their website. I went to Kensington Hilltop. They were like, right away, we'll put it up. Apparently, they had 5 parent volunteers. Each day of the week, a new parent volunteer would come in and update the website. I see some smiling faces. I'm wondering if you're one of the volunteers. The same day, I go to Richmond High School and make the same request. They don't do that. Their website is 3 years outdated, and it turns out that their assistant principal is the one that does that there. So how are parents supposed to keep up to date with what's going on in the school if they can't even go on the website? Second example. El Cerrito High School got a new principal over the summer, and they asked parents and community members to come and ask, what do you want to see in your new principal? They had almost 100 community members show up and give suggestions. That prior week, Kennedy High School also got a new principal. There was no ask from the community members. There was no, what do you want to see in your principal? So when I asked the director of community engagement, he said, oh, we assumed no parents, we assumed there wouldn't be any parents coming out. These are systematic things that are preventing community engagement in our district, and we need to fix this. I was thrown off. I thought I still had a minute. I proposed quite a few things between the very first forum and now, and out of all of them, the only thing that costs money is universal preschools. It doesn't take money to recruit volunteers to run websites. It doesn't take money to recruit volunteers to run after-school tutoring. I believe in small solutions that have big impacts, and that's what I've been pushing for. I'm 21 years old, and I just became a homeowner, and I looked at what my estimated property taxes are going to look like, and I want to go back to renting, to be honest. If elected, I'm going to be inheriting this big, we haven't even talked about the bonds yet, I'm going to be inheriting this big issue. El Cerrito High School gets a $3 million football stadium, a $100,000 AV system, when some of our schools still aren't seismically safe in the district. Does that make any sense to you? And this is poor leadership. It might not have been this current board, it might have been the one before that or the one before that, but we need to elect somebody who knows what they're talking about. I've done research into what other districts have done when it comes to prioritizing their money. The budget should be prioritized for the classrooms. Everything else comes secondary. We hired a consultant for one of our DLCAT meetings. You know what their job was? To hand the microphone to the different people speaking. We paid somebody that much money. About 20 people showed up. We had 100 full-color, nice paper quality copies. 100. Why aren't we adjusting our means to what to where we are currently? Instead of looking at the budget and saying we funded this last year, let's fund it this year. Let's look back and say, where do we need to make cuts this year? Where's the money not necessary? My name's Anthony Caro, and I'm going to say something you're not supposed to say. This election has been a sham. The amount of money that has been put into this election has raised a few candidates and hidden the rest of us behind. And I don't think that's fair. Aside from myself, there are only 5 other candidates who have not received any backing from special interests. Vanessa Calloway would make a great board member. She works with our students every single day, and she's been in this district. She's worked as an after-school coordinator, lunchtime coordinator, was it? Well, she worked in the district, and she's somebody that we need up there. Patricio Dijon, not only was he a teacher, but he's a parent, and he's also worked with superintendents in districts all over the country, and that's somebody that we need on the board. Tiffany Grimsley, she was a UC Berkeley College admissions advisor, counselor, or something like that. She knows what it takes to get into college. Wouldn't that be somebody that we want on our board? Michael Gonzalez was actually hired by the state to turn around school districts. If he doesn't win board election and I do, I want you to be my superintendent. Carlos as well.